Hello everyone, this is Alex Designman, and this is Catia V5 Electrical Harness Design Part 5. This is the project that we designed in the last video, in Part 4. So if you just arrived here on this video, there are no files to download. You need to go to Part 1, because that's where we start to begin design this part by part. And in this video we are going to design a slightly different project. We are going to modify those files. And the project that we are going to build, you're also going to have to keep it because we are going to use it in the next video series that I'm planning to do, which is going to be about Catia V5 electrical harness flattening. So again, there are no files to download in any of those videos. It's easier to build the parts on your own in your own Catia version, because many times there are problems with the files. So even if I give files, they're not going to work for many Catia V5 versions. So now we are going to start over with this project, but we are going to use retainers and connectors that we created in previous videos. So first of all, I'm going to open a new file, give it a name. So this is going to be project file flattening. So this is going to be only about flattening. And I would like to save this. And I'm using a folder with the exact name. So it's good to have a folder to put all the files for the project. Save. And let's follow the structure that we had in the other project. So in here we have another product that is the electrical harness. And in this product we put all the components that are electrified, like connectors and retainers. And outside in the project file we have any other parts that are going to support the project. So if you will work in an automotive project, you'll have mechanical parts, maybe some body and white and so on. But again, when you work in an automotive company, you should study the structure that they use. So you're going to see that immediately. If you know Catia V5, you're going to immediately observe how they are structuring the projects. And I teach a lot of that in my Catia V5 electrical harness design courses on Udemy. So those videos on YouTube are just scratching the surface for everybody who would like to see what Catia V5 electrical harness is about. So now let's go back to this product, insert, and let's insert a new product. So I'm going to call this electrical harness 2, and I would like to have this saved. So if you go to save management, have here a new file. If I click save as, so always remember to also add the same name for the part number, which is going to dictate the name of the file on the hard drive. Save as, and also save what has been modified. Click OK. So now we are going to do the same thing that we did in the last project, but I want to collect some data. So I would like to see how big this surface is. So this is 1000 or 1000. Now I would like to close this project because I don't want to have this in the session anymore. Okay. And in here let's insert a new part. And this is going to be the new surface. Let's call this. Okay. And if you go inside surface 2, let's also design it. So we need part design for this. Go into part design. And I'm going to make this 1000 or 1000. 1000. It's always good to have design. It's always good to insert dimensions when you start a project, so you can have the right scale. Exit, pad, and let's make 10 millimeters. Should be enough. And the color, let's use this color. Then inside the electrical harness product, we are going to insert the multi-branchable document. And if you remember from the other videos, we need to give electrical properties to this product. We need to transform this product into a geometrical bundle. This is what the software is saying here. So to do that, we have here geometrical bundle. Always remember that it's going to change the name. So if you have a longer name, you just want to copy this. Click on geometrical bundle, click on the product, and then I go inside and I change the part number. So this is electrical harness 2. The instance name can be just 2, so we don't have this long name here. Click OK. So the instance name is what we have between the brackets. And now we can insert the multi-branchable document, which is a part file for electrical harnesses. This one has electrical properties in publications. So make sure you have this one activated. Click here, and here we have the multi-branchable document. And this is immediately going to show us the branch definition window because the multi-branchable part is activated. And Catia switches here to electrical harness installation workbench. So you can see here that this is activated. So we're not going to work right now here. First, because we created all this structure, I want to go to the top product and save everything. Always with save management, because you want to see exactly what is going on and what you have here. This is a new file, so it needs to be saved. So all the files, they need to be saved. Click OK. So here in the folder we have the files, and we are going to use the connectors and retainers from that we just created in the other videos. So those connectors are in the other folder, and if you have multiple projects, you like to have a folder that is dedicated to connectors and retainers, like a library, because it's never going to change. And many times in companies and even in my own work, I have this folder read-only. And even I go to the files, I do properties, and I click here read-only, and this means that those files cannot be modified. So if you modify them by mistake in Catia, they are not going to be saved, and Catia is going to tell you that. So I'm going to do that here. I have here connector A, connector B, retainer, cut those from here and move them in their own folder. So I call this folder project library. This is going to be the library for all the projects, and I'm going to add here every time I create a connector or retainer or something. So let's do this test and make those read-only. Okay, this is perfect. So this project is going to be a branch that is going to be thicker. We'll start from here and branch out in a few different directions. And this way I'm also going to cover everything that I said that I'm going to cover at the end of the last video. So let's start by positioning the first connector here. So we can start from the connector. So if we activate the product electrical harness, then we can go to insert existing component. I go into the project library. So many times I don't remember which is connector A, which is connector B. So in Windows, if you save the file, so before you save a connector file, you need to press this button here, which is I think it's called isometric view, because it's going to position the connector or the part, whatever part it is, in the middle of the screen. So you do that before you save. So this way you're going to be able to see it in this preview in window. Otherwise, if this connector is somewhere in the screen here in the corner, you're not going to see it, or it's going to be too small. But in this way, you see those are saved correctly. So I can see which one. So this is the connector I want. Open. And here we get a warning, connector B, it's read-only. So this is fine. Now the connector it's positioned here in the center of the part where we have the datum planes. And I'm going to use assembly design tools to move it. I want to move it in this area here. Usually I like to use the snap toolbar. Not all versions of Catia have this. If you don't find it, you need to use other tools. So this is a question I receive many times. If you do not find a toolbar or a button, first of all make sure you know how to use Catia. You know how to reset the toolbars or how to look for a toolbar. You need to make sure you know that. If you're sure you know how to do it and you still do not find a command, that's because of the Catia v5 version. So it's an older version, probably does not have that type of command. If you don't know how to use Catia, I have on my Udemy page a course that is dedicated for Catia v5 beginners. So before you use any workbench of Catia electrical, you need to know how to use Catia v5, because those are more advanced workbenches. So another tool that can be used is this one, manipulation. So every Catia v5 version has this, and we can drag along something. So in here I'm going to drag along an axis, and I'm going to choose the axis. Let's use the Z axis, go up, and I want to go here in the corner. So Y is the Y here, and the X here, And now I'm going to use the rotation tool, drag around any axis. So I'm going to choose this axis. I want to rotate the connector with the hole in this direction. So the harness is going to be connected on the other side, like this. And then I go drag on any plane because I want to select this plane and just position it here. So this is the final position. We only need to bring this surface here, so you can use a simple snap for that, or you can use constraints. So if we use constraints, this is the constraint toolbar. I'll make sure that I make the fixed part, which is going to be this surface. So we go into the project file. So again, this is basic Catia v5 constraints and other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to add a constraint between this surface and this surface. Coincidence, okay. And right click here and update. So now I can just delete this coincidence constraint. I'm going to leave the fixed one because that's okay. And hide the constraints folder here. So this is the first connector. And from here, we are going to go into this direction. Let's go here, insert. And when you're in assembly design, you see that you have here existing component with positioning. So you have to know this. If you know Catia v5, open, let's take the retainer. And we get this smart move window. So I'm going to choose here coincidence. Make sure this is not checked. If you check this, it's going to create constraints in the folder. And I don't want that. Don't need constraints here. And I'm going to make a coincidence between this surface and our surface. That's where it has to say, and I'm going to leave it like that. Click OK. Here we have the retainer. And I'm going to design the first branch here. I can also use the compass to move parts around, snap automatically to selected objects. Click on the retainer and watching from above like we're in 2D. I also want to rotate this connector a little. I want this to be rotated towards the other corner, and the same with the retainer. So let's create our first bundle from here to here, multi-branchable. If I activate this, I will get the window. Bend radius ratio, I'll leave this to 2. This is kind of general in every domain, 2. Slack 0, root definition, click on the connector, make sure the arrow points in that direction, click on the retainer. Here we have the first branch. It's kind of thin, so I'm going to make this thicker. Let's make it 20. Okay, 25. Let's see how 30 is going to look. Okay, let's start with this thick branch. And let's make this long on the diagonal. So you want to design your branch from the connector until the other connector, even if you have branches in between. We're going to design this after that. So I'm going to copy, paste the retainer here in the folder to make another one. And with the compass, I take this one. Make sure you have the product activated. Click on the retainer and go forward. So I'm going to position one here and then paste again. Position another one here. So just as a general idea, because we can move them after that. Take the compass away. And in this part here, I would like to hide the planes because I don't need to see them. So I like to keep my screen clean. Don't want to see anything that I'm not working with. So we open this branch, root definition, and we continue. Here add after the next retainer and the next retainer. Just click on them. And another question that I got in one of the previous videos. Somebody asked me how this works. How come I can click on those parts and the multi-branchable just goes into those parts? So to find out, you need to watch from the first video, because this is what we do. Okay, so here at the end we are going to add a smaller connector, but we don't need to add it now. For now, I would like to branch from here into that direction and then 2 smaller branches and add connectors. And do the same here. Kind of go back, make a U-turn. So first we add the retainers. So I'm going to copy paste one of the retainers, make sure the product is activated always. So this is something that you need to know. You need to know Catia v5. So from here we are going to branch onto this retainer, and from there we are going to go straight onto the connectors. Here we make a U-turn. So you see, you can imagine where the retainer is going to be. If I make here a U-turn from around here, general direction. Now let's make those. Create branch point like we seen in the last video. So I'm going to click, and question is, where do we add this branch point? So I said this before, in my courses I teach harness design rules for automotive design. So one type of rule is that the branch has to be added at a certain distance from other components. For example, a retainer. So for more details about this, you need to take my courses, because it's a lot to explain. Why, how are those harnesses produced, why some things do not work in production. So I'm going to add it at a distance from the end of the retainer. So that's the rule. I show those rules in my courses. So I'm going to add here length, but I want to change the reference point because now it's here. You can see it. So I'm going to click on this and choose this point. So now I have, let's say, 50 millimeters. This is going to be the branch point. And because we are here, let's also do this one. Change the reference here. Change the direction. Always remember that. Length. Let's make this 70. It's okay. And now we will create another branch. So inside the multi-branchable, we have branchable 1. And if I go here, branch definition, click, and I want to see here branchable 2. The definition, start over from the branch point. So this is a point, but I also need a tangent, so I'm going to choose the curve of the bundle and the direction. And next is going to be the retainer. So it goes from here to there. Click OK. And then add another one. I want to see branchable 3. Click on this one. Direction. Check the arrow. Retainer. Okay. Okay. So now let's add the other connectors. Insert existing component positioning. Connector A. Open. Let's see how we position this. So let's make a coincidence between the axis of this and the axis. Some kind of axis here. We can position it after that. Okay. So I have the compass here. Go forward. The connector. And I just want to bring this close to the surface, just with the compass by eye. Okay. So I forgot that those connectors have this color, the same as the surface. So I'm going to change the color of the surface. In this case, let's make it, let's see, this color. So this green, seems like this green is okay. So if I go here at connector A, I can copy this, paste, and now I can move this anywhere. Here, copy paste, and another one. And then let's also add one in this area here. So now I have to take this branch to one of the connectors, the definition, adapter, pick one of the connectors, and here I'm going to add a branching point to go to the other connector. So again, it's the same rule, we have to be at a certain distance from the retainer. Length, reference, choose this one. So around here, this is about, let's make 60. So I think I didn't check the direction, so let's delete this one. This is how you modify a branch point. You remove it. Make sure it's highlighted. Okay. So let's add it again. Here. Reference and direction. Length. Make this 60. Click OK. So now it's correct. I want to see here branchable 4, which is the next one. Start from here and go to the connector. And point 22, let's add the tangent here. So this is not going to work very well because this is very thick and it's going to get red. But we are going to fix that soon. So let's continue here. This one, adapter, connector. Okay, and this one, adapter, connector. Click OK. Okay, so this is the setup that we have. This is the project. Always remember to save, because if the electricity goes out and the computer switches off, you're going to lose the work. So that I had that happening, even in companies, it just happens. Open read only, so those cannot be modified or saved. Here we have everything that has to be saved. Okay, so now I'm going to show you one thing that I said that I'm going to show in the last video, and that is going to be how to make the correct diameters for all the cables in all directions. This is a calculation that you do when you do automotive harnesses, and you need all the wires and the circuits. We do not have that here, so we are going to imagine some of the things. If this cable here starts thick like this, so this is 25 millimeters, let's say it has 20 wires inside, and some of the wires they go here, some of the wires they go here, here and here. It's normal that this here cannot be thick as this one, because some of the wires they go here, and from here on this is going to have a smaller diameter. So let's start with this. We follow the first branch point, which is here. So we have two connectors here and two connectors here. Let's say they split 50-50. This means that this branch is going to have 12.5 and this one is going to be 12.5. So the way we do this, we open the first branch like I did here, and we go to bundle segment definition. Here it shows that we have two segments. The first segment is this one from here to here, and the second one is from here to here. So what delimitates those segments is exactly the branch point that we added with this command. So now let's take the first one here. Diameter is 30, so it's not 25. I think I didn't remember well, it's 30. So that's going to be 15 and 15. We make this one 15, 1-5. Click apply. It changes immediately, becomes smaller. And then here we have two connectors. So this has to be even thinner than this. So we have here 15. Each one is going to be 7.5. So this one is going to be 7.5. Click OK. Click OK. OK again. So this is correct now. I also need to open this one because this is a separate branchable. Go here, it has only one segment, but it's going to be 7.5. So now you see it's not red anymore. Okay. Then from here onwards, this is not going to be 30, so it's going to be 15. It cannot be modified here because it has multiple segments, so you need to go to bundle segment definition again. It has 3 segments. This is the first one, which is 30, it's correct. The second one is this one here, so this is 15. Okay. And this one that goes only to one connector is going to be 7.5. So I'm splitting this 50-50, but many times they are not going to be like that because each of them they have tape, so it might be 15. It doesn't become 7.5 and 7.5. 15 might become 9 and 9, something like that. So let's do that here. Let's make 9. And this one, let's also make this one 9. Okay. So if you get this error where now the bundles are not sitting on the retainer anymore, this is because they lost connection with the retainer, and this can also be seen when you open the branch and instead of the name of the retainer here you have 2 points. So let's fix this. This is another lesson that I'm teaching here. So if you go on Catia V5 options, when you go on infrastructure and then on part infrastructure, you want to have here checked keep link with the selected object, and update you want it to be automatic. So you want to have these options activated here. Do not change anything else because you're going to ruin your project and Catia V5. And then we go to equipment and systems, and in here if you go to electrical harness discipline, here we go to electrical harness installation. So if you click on this one, you want to have those options here. So the options are bundle segment connections, those two, bundle segment disconnection, we want to have this one, and most important one, Contextual links, keep link with selected object. Here you want to be in geometrical bundle. So make sure you have all of those options like I have them here without modifying anything else. Click OK. And now we need to fix this because it's not going to fix automatically. And then we are going to test it. And there is going to be some work here because, for example, in here it's simple. Root definition, and I want to delete everything until I go backwards. So 0.27 I remove it, 0.6 I remove it, and 0.8 I'm going to replace it with the retainer. So now we have here retainer. We don't have 2 points. Switch to add after, and we have connector. We don't have some random point. So this is fixed. This, it's okay. So in here, the modification here is going to affect this branch point. So I'm going to just delete it. First of all, let's remove this segment, 0.11, remove, OK, click OK, remove branch point, let's remove it. Now let's fix this one, delete 0.6, remove, project 4, replace with the retainer, click OK, add the branch point again, length, I think here it was like 70, but the reference needs to be this new point here, yeah, so 60 it's okay. So I also got this question, how you fix all of those things. 0.17, add before, this one, and the direction, okay. So you can also notice that this one has lost connection, root definition, so you see I have 2 points. Project 10, let's remove it, and project 7.17, replace it with the retainer, okay, okay, and let's fix here the diameter. So this one first is 30, this one it's 15. So now it doesn't lose connection anymore when we modify diameters. Let's also fix this one. Let's see what happens. 0.14, project 8, replace with the retainer. So you see how those ones they go here. So this point here, this is the multi-branchable point that we had. So if I go back, I would like first to delete the branchable point. So I don't need to delete this segment here. So I'm going to root definition 0.22, replace, holding down the control key. I'm just going to put it here for a second. So you have to work like this because you will get a lot of errors otherwise in Catia, and everything is going to be messed up and you're going to lose even more time. So now let's fix it. 0.14, remove, project 8, replace, let's add this branchable point again, length, reference, always remember the reference, let's make 50, okay. Let's also modify the diameter if we are here, so this is 15, okay, and let's make this one 9 like the others, okay, okay, and this one, root definition 0.37, replace with this one, and also the tangency. So this those points here have those are isolated points. They can be deleted. Just make sure it's not connected to anything. So I'm going to show immediately at the end of the video how we clean the file. Let's do some save management. Just save. See what we have here. Modified, open, modified, okay. And this is the project that we are going to use for flattening. Now let's test those retainers and also the connectors. So if I go activate here, I activate the compass. So if I move this, the harness has to turn red because it wants to be updated. And when I update, it's going to go back to, it's going to follow the retainer, and it's the same with all of those. The same thing with the connector. So if I'm going to move it, it's going to follow it. If it doesn't follow it, it means that it lost connection. You see, it doesn't turn red. I don't have the update. This means that we have a connection lost here, so we need to remake it. 0.26, replace connector. So now it's connector. So let's do all of them. 0.24, connector. I want to make sure that everything is connected before you do harness flattening. point 1, replace connector. So when I open any bundle, I go to root definition, I want to see connector, the start connector, and I don't want to see point, only if it's like a branching point. But otherwise I want to see the objects, the retainers and the connectors. So in here, click OK. So this one, 0.9, replace, let's put it here for a second. Need to delete the branching point that we have here to fix the retainer. Do 50. So again, reference here, length, let's do 50. Okay, and the diameter here is going to be 30. So when I open every branchable, go to the definition, I want to see the elements, I want to see the connector, retainer, 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 and connector. Then this one, I want to see point, which is the branchable, then retainer, connector. I don't want to see other points and projections. Okay, and this one, point, retainer, connector, and this one has to be point and connector. Point and connector. Let's save again everything. Okay, and then if we go to electrical harness assembly with this product activated, here we have add local slack. So let's add some slack to make this smooth. And if you double click on the command, it's going to be active all the time. You just need to be careful on how you use it. So I'm going to add something here. Add slack. Let's try 1. See how it looks. So 1, it's okay. So after I click OK, the command is still active. This one, it's straight. Doesn't need that much slack, but this one, it needs some slack. So let's add 2. See how it looks. 3. Let's add 5 here. Okay, this one, add slack. Let's add 10. Okay, and this one, add slack. Let's add 5. Fine. This one, let's add 10. See how it looks. Try 20. Okay. This one, let's add 3. Okay. Also this one, let's add 3. So now hit escape to deactivate the command. Let's save with the slack. Again. So this is going to be the work of a electrical CAD designer. You have to work and save all the time. You don't want to have too much work unsaved. So now if we activate the multi-branchable here, we are in part design and we go to tools. Here we have delete useless elements. Click, and the software has identified a lot of useless elements. Those are points that remain, the projections and the points that remained from when they lose a connection. And here we have a list. If you want to check, 88 elements, 39 deleted, 49 kept. So there are a lot of things, there are a lot of external references that have to be deleted. So those are, they cannot be seen. You have to go into the background. So visible space. So you see there are a lot of them here that need to be deleted. So again, tools, delete useless elements. Okay. Want to continue deletion? Yes. So now I activate and I don't see an update, so it doesn't need any update. Now it's clean. You can check the bundles again. So again, I want to see connector, retainer, 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 connector, everything is fine. This is a clean project. So this is, everything is clean here. Save. Okay. So this is it. This is the project that you want to keep because we are going to do some harness flattening on it. So this is going to be a new video series because this video series it's finished. If you want to learn more about Catia 5 electrical harness design, you can contact me on LinkedIn for coupon codes on the Udemy courses, or you can get the courses directly for Udemy They are very affordable, so everybody on the planet will can afford those prices, because Udemy has discounts every month. So every month the courses are reduced to $10 or $12 or something like that. So they decide the prices. I don't deal with that. So that's affordable for everyone. It's an in-depth course with lessons, with projects, because in there I don't only teach the software, but I teach how to design automotive harnesses with Catia V5. What are the rules? How are the components selected? Where are they coming from? So a lot of details I show in there, and you can also use other CAD softwares. You don't have to use Catia V5 because the rules apply to everything. And I also offer step files that can be used in all CAD softwares for connectors and other stuff. So have this project saved, and see you in the next video series.